Welcome to Harsh Reality Broadcast on the 13th of August 2013. I'd like to put up a few topics for discussion today, and one thing I'd like to look at first of all is personality types, because I think that's very important when it comes to how people view the economic position today. Those that have been following my channel will note that I've been using extra normal animated cartoon to represent various personality types. And I just want to do a little bit of a recap before I continue with this presentation. As you can see, we've got Steve there in the top left hand corner, the eternal optimist, buries his head in the sand. We've got George, who's realistic, very pragmatic, understands exactly what goes on and does his research. We have Tracy, the good time girl. She lives for today and her motto is live for today and to hell with tomorrow. Tony is the pragmatic chap, just like George, has a good understanding of what's going on and does his research. We have Charles, he represents the elite, chief executive officer of a leading bank, fully understands what's going on and tells it as it is. We have VI, who's a bit of a showman, enjoys life, a bit shallow, and doesn't really care what's going on, doesn't have a good handle at all. Sue is the pragmatic type, understands exactly what's going on, rather quiet, but does know what is happening. Andreas is your typical family man, fully understands what's happening in Greece and very supportive towards his family. Okay, I just want to move on a little bit. How the elites try to condition us, and they've been doing this for hundreds of years. It's worked very well in the past when people were ignorant. However, today people are less ignorant and are beginning to understand what's going on. So, what have they tried? Well, at the moment they're trying to divert our attention to trivia. There's a lot of trivia on TV at the moment, and people are lacking critical thinking by just looking at all this trivia. And this is achieved by very good marketing. The elites are excellent at marketing, and this is how they get us to be diverted. Let's have a look at an example. Chelsea offer Wayne Rooney mammoth £56 million wage packets in a bid to lure Man United forward to Stamford Bridge. Well, I've just been looking at the currencies at the moment, the exchange rate, and at the moment the pound is worth $1.54, and that equates to $86 million. Now that is what Wayne Rooney, a footballer, is getting in 1 year. Now if you really think he's worth that money, fair enough. In my opinion, I think it's disgraceful, and the reason for that is because you compare to what an ordinary worker is getting paid in the Asian countries, and it equates to about $10 a day. Do some calculations and just look at the ratio, the difference between what this top footballer is getting for kicking a ball around and what some poor person working in an Asian country is getting. It's really criminal. Okay, religion. Now this is very sensitive, and the last thing I want to do is upset anybody. I don't want to offend anybody, but I like to let you know where I stand on religion. Man-made religion, in my opinion, is a way of controlling the masses. And when people are ignorant, it's very easy for the elites to do this. And I often wonder, are the elites stupid? And I'll tell you now, I don't think they are. They are excellent strategic planners, and although they may profess to be religious, I doubt they are. So that is my view. And here's something in the newspaper. The Mail Online. Those with higher intelligence are less likely to believe in God, claims new review of 63 scientific studies stretching back decades. It seems to me that if people lead their life through blind faith, they're not thinking particularly logically. That is my opinion, and as I said before, I don't wish to offend anybody. That's not the type of person I am, but I'm just telling it as it is from my point of view. So I think the elite use religion as a form of control. Okay, propaganda. There's a lot of misrepresentation in the mainstream media. Have a look at this. US recovery accelerates as economy economy grows by 1.7% in second quarter. Okay, they don't tell you the full story. If we've got some growth, it has been at the expense of something else, and it's been at the expense of money being pumped into the system through quantitative easing, raising the debt ceiling. Let's have a look at this. The US national debt. That is the chart. At the moment, the debt ceiling is $16.4 trillion. People can't comprehend that number, but it's massive. And we've already exceeded that figure. It should have been dealt with in March, the debt ceiling issue. It was then delayed to May, then June, and now Labour Day in September. What do you think they're going to do? I think they're going to increase the debt ceiling, probably to about $19 trillion. That's my guess. One thing they won't do is attempt to balance the books. They can't, because if they tried, there would be an economic collapse. But people, again, don't understand this. They are. The elites try to condition us through political correctness. Have you noticed how it's creeping in, political correctness? We're afraid to say certain things now. Have a look at this. Example of political correctness. Is black coffee racist? Coffee shops everywhere have stopped calling black coffee black. They are now calling it coffee without cream. Well, it's crazy as far as I'm concerned. There's no intent of being racist if you ask for a black coffee, but this is the way we're being conditioned. Apparently we can't use the term nitty-gritty. It was everyday speech, but the ironic thing was the police were banned from using it, and then we had the Home Office Minister actually using the term nitty-gritty in his speech, and one of the delegates said, that's banned, you can't use it because of race relation laws. There you go, we are being conditioned to the way we can think. Where are we now? Well, the stock markets are rising. I've looked this morning, and the FTSE has gone up by 0.63%. I've just had a look at precious metals. Gold has started to fall to about $1,315 per ounce. There's good news relayed from the mainstream media in the UK and the US regarding our economic performance. Well, there you go. And the public remaining ignorant to the economic collapse that has already started and is gathering pace. But again, if you're getting good news from the media, can you blame people for not realising that there is an economic collapse? So, what is my interpretation of the economic collapse? I do not see a Mad Max scenario. I don't see that at all. I think that the government will step in and manage the situation. What I see is a lower standard of living. That's already happened. Our standard of living continues to fall, and I truly believe that will be the case for a long time ahead. We're going to have unstable working conditions. 0-hour contracts are going to be the norm in a lot of areas. We just got to get used to it. The fairy tale has ended. And there's going to be a more draconian government. As things get tougher, the governments are going to become more draconian. Our freedoms are going to be eroded. This is a new reality that I see. So I call it boiling the lobster slowly. In other words, it will be done over a period of time, this collapse. And I'll give you an analogy before I finish this presentation. Think of an earthquake. If an earthquake happened all at once and all that energy was released at once, there would be absolute devastation. However, if the energy was released over a period of time, the same amount of energy, then things don't seem as bad. And that's exactly how I see our economic future. Just a gradual erosion of our standard of living. Trust me, there is no way we can get back to a sustainable lifestyle that we got used to over the last 30 or 40 years. It isn't going to happen. And the reasons for that is debt. That's the main thing. We had ingenious ways of actually borrowing from the future. We introduced credit cards, there was a subprime lending, and as I keep mentioning in my previous videos, there is a time bomb waiting to go off, and that's the derivatives. It is major. Watch out for credit default swaps. That's going to be big news, I think, as bailouts continue in the future. Anyway, that's an update from me. I do hope to get back to my animated cartoons as soon as possible, but hopefully this gives you an insight to how I think things are going. Thank you very much